Good morning, everyone. It's now 11 o'clock, so it's time for us to do this thing. I hope you're all doing well and having a wonderful start to your day. Nice to see some smiling faces out there. My name is Bill Cherry, and for the next 13 hours or so, I am still a member of the Board of Directors. And on behalf of the board and the program council, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this morning's service. If you are a visitor, I hope you can find a visitor information card in the seat back pocket or pick one up at the visitor table out front, the welcoming table. If you're online, you can find a virtual information card at tvuuc.org. No matter who you are, where you're from, or where you are in your journey, you're welcome in this space, and we're very happy to see all of you today. For those of you who have interest in our religious education program, Miriam Davis is at the RE table in the gallery, and she'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. And I'm going to bring Mark Mahundro up here to say a little bit about membership.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Mahundro. I do a lot of the new membership and outreach here at the church. Today, I just wanted to talk with you about two things. First off, the church had a table at South Knox Pride yesterday. It was extremely hot, but I had some volunteers that helped, and I just want to recognize them. Gordon Gibson, Rachel Kovac, Eddie Chin, Betty Baumgardner, Chloe Arolda Waters, and Jenny and Noel Sneed. That was greatly appreciated. The second is, and this kind of dovetails nicely into what Bill just said, if you're new to here and you want to find out more about what Unitarian Universalism is, or Tennessee Valley, just some of the things about us, at the conclusion of the service at 12:30 in the Lizzie Crozier-French room, which is right to your left when you walked in the building, so it'll be right on your right, we're having a thing called questions, and this is a thing for people to come and ask questions about Unitarian Universalism, how to become a member, what other things about this church that you might, why we use a flaming chalice. So, and also today, there's going to be a little bit of something added extra to questions. The Unitarian Universalist Association just finished up its General Assembly about a week and a half ago, and there were some very, very monumental changes, and I'm going to give an overview of those at that meeting as well. We will also do that again in the beginning of the fall. But if you want to know more about what happened and what the monumental decisions we made were, please join me after. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here at Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. Today is a Generosity Offering Sunday. For those of you that are new here, what that means is that 100% of any contribution that you give that is not marked as a pledge will go to the General Operating Fund of TVUUC. This is kind of an important day because this is the last day you can give for this fiscal year. So if you have a contribution that you would like to go in for this fiscal year, we'd love for you to do it today. You can do that in a variety of ways. Checks and cash in the offering baskets, on the choir railings. You can give with a credit card or a debit card in the giving kiosk in our lobby. There's a couple of scan codes that are on plastic signs around the building. You're welcome to point your phone camera at that, and it will take you to that secure giving site. If you are watching us online, you should have a give or a give now button or bar. Most of the time it's green. Press that, and it will go to our secure giving site. So once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving. My other announcement is about the building itself. This coming week, we will be closed on Wednesday and Thursday for the 4th of July. So Monday and Tuesday, our office will be open. Our regular summer hours, which are 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. The building will be open Monday and Tuesday night for scheduled events, but we will be closed Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm going to break form just a little bit and do, excuse me, another announcement that I had intended to do last week, but I ended up having to cancel that. I'm going to talk about a fundraising opportunity that I think is critical to the financial success of this church. And that is a program that some of you may be familiar with called Raise Right. Raise Right is a gift card purchase program whereby the vendor that you purchase the card for actually provides a rebate to the organization. So you're not putting out any money. They are putting out the money that contributes revenue to our church. Raise Right has been around for a number of years. It used to be called Great Lakes Script. And we had a champion for that activity, and that was Marion Von Beck. And at that time, we raised a considerable amount of money through that program. In the last few years, it has not been anywhere near as successful. I feel that it can be, and as outgoing treasurer, I'd be remiss to not talk about this program. What it needs is a champion. And Noel Ehring has agreed to work with me to be the champions for Raise Right, to take it up to a level that will be meaningful. I did a little bit of research on my own spending, and quite frankly, I'm ashamed because I am a member of Raise Right. Last year, I made a few purchases, and I thought, you know, the rebates that come back from the places that I use are just more trouble than it's worth. Silly me. I went back and looked at all of my credit card purchases for the last year and matched them up with the discounts or rebates provided by Raise Right. If I had used it, I would have raised over $500 for the church. So there's a lesson for all of us. Now, Raise Right says that the average family can generate $1,000 a year through this activity. I believe that based on my own personal one-person family experience. We have over 200 families in this church. Do the math. We're talking about significant upside opportunity. Now, because it's summer and Noel is gone and I'm leaving next week, there's not a real significant launch occurring right now, but there is a flyer, if I could find it, that's on the gift card table that gives you all the information you need to sign up for Raise Right. You can also go on the church website, and there's information there. So right now, there are only 9 families that have used Raise Right this calendar year. So you can see that our potential to do much, much more is huge. So I hope everyone will look into this program and see how you can factor it into your own personal spending habits. As we get through the summer travel time, I'm leaving next week when Noel gets back, we will be doing more official promotional activities, so you'll be seeing us and the Raise Right symbols around on an ongoing basis. So thank you for your attention to that important topic. Now, please join us for coffee and conversation in the sanctuary, the fellowship hall after the service. We'd like to have some further chats with you. And now, please turn all of your electronic devices to silence as we enter into worship. Thank you.
For our opening words, I want to invite you to turn the back of your hymnal to responsive reading, or actually unison reading, 709. The text for today's sermon comes from the book of James, so it seemed appropriate to have opening words from the same book. Together. Be doers of the word and not merely hearers, those who look into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and persevere, being not hearers who forget, but doers who act. They will be a blessing in their doing. Come, let us worship together. This church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our great covenant. I invite you to join together in our opening hymn, which is an insert in your order of a service, Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let racism turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let racism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land.
Good morning. My name is Mebby Jackson, and I'm a member of the spiritual care team. We are a group of heart-centered, deep listeners that help with the caring needs of the congregation. We can be reached by phone or text, and the number is printed in your order of service. It is also in the website. We share these joys and concerns weekly, and our best resource is you. So if you know of any cares or concerns or joys that we need to share each week, please let us know. So today we would like to celebrate the life of Naomi, the granddaughter of Rachel Kovac, who passed away at the tender age of 6. She had a heart transplant at 4 months, and although she fought her entire life, her heart was just not strong enough. Her family is very grateful to the donor family for giving them the extra time to share with their precious child. And we also want to keep Chance in our hearts. Our champion Chance, he has now been hospitalized for 30 days. This is the longest hospitalization of his entire healing journey. And he has fought, and they are awaiting news about the success of the surgery he had on Friday. Chance is very hopeful that he will be done with his shunt, a goal that he has had since 2021. So let's keep Champion Chance in our hearts. And on some happier news, This past week, we did some amazing things at this church. We hosted Family Promise, which uses our church as a place to house unhoused families. And we also delivered groceries for fish, and we hosted an interfaith pride service. So we are very grateful that our church has the ability to do these wonderful community services. And we also want to give a heartfelt and gratitude to Sharon Fields, who took on the Herculean task of cleaning out the refrigerator. So with these joys and concerns, those I've spoken today and those unspoken and safely in our hearts, we wish you to sing this beautiful song as we bring this joy and love to all.
We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love.
I invite you to turn to the back of your hymnals, the gray hymnals, to responsive reading 567, which is a responsive reading based on the writings of Marge Piercy. I want to be with people who submerge in the task. Who stand in the line and haul in their places.
Who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in common rhythm when food has come in, like a fire we put out.
The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust.
But the thing had and shape that satisfies, clean and everything.
Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used.
The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real.
Let us enter into a time of meditation and prayer. Holy One, we gather together in this sanctuary, seeking ways to be useful. Help us to be doers of the word and not hearers only. Help us to pray not only with our words, but with our work. To pray with our feet. To pray with our hands. To pray with our minds. To pray with our generosity. To pray with our voices. To pray with our votes. To pray for a better world where every child is safe and everyone has opportunities and no one is left behind. We ask you to fan into flames the gifts that are within each one of us, so that your light may illuminate the world. In your name we pray. Amen. Let's pause for a moment of silent worship together. So be it. I invite you to join together in our second hymn. You can remain seated for this, Over My Head, which is an insert in your order of service.
we decided to forego the insert and save some paper. We don't think you're going to need it.
Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Must be a God somewhere.
Before I offer this reading, I'd like to introduce our speaker for the morning, who is the Reverend Dr. Charles Lomax, President and CEO of Knoxville Urban League and minister of St. John's Missionary Baptist Church in Alcoa. Before I say anything more about Dr. Max, I want to share with you a little bit of Unitarian Universalist history in connection with the work of the Urban League. Whitney Young was executive director of the National Urban League from 1961 to 1971, and Young was part of the Big Six that included Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, Roy Wilkins, and A. Philip Randolph, who organized the March on Washington and were present for the signing of so many of those key civil rights bills of that era. Young's one-sentence summary of the work of the Urban League was to say, "I'd rather be prepared without an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared." Now, Whitney Young was a Unitarian Universalist. He was a member of the UU Church in Atlanta when he was working in social work at the time, and the School of Social Work at Clark Atlanta University is named the Whitney Young School of Social Work. He served on the board of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee and the UUA Commission on Race and Religion. Peter Sampson, a former minister of this church, did Whitney Young's memorial service when he was serving as minister of the UU congregation in White Plains, New York, where the Young family were members at the time. Peter told me about a moment in that weekend of memorial events where he was seated between a very young George Herbert Walker Bush on one side and an equally young Reverend Jesse Jackson on the other. Must have been an interesting conversation to overhear. When he told that story, when he experienced that meeting, both were young men, but when he told it to me, both were running for President of the United States. So a little bit of Peter Sampson and TBUC history. All of that UU history is by way of introducing our speaker, Dr. Lomax, who is both a powerful preacher and an inspiring community leader who doesn't want to use all the energy within the church, but use the energy of the church to transform the world. He has a big heart for making a difference in the world. The motto of the Knoxville Urban League is empowering communities, changing lives. And I believe those words describe the ministry of Dr. Lomax in the church and in the community and in the world. So let's welcome Dr. Lomax. Our reading in the text for this morning's sermon comes from James 2:14 through 17. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but does not have works? Surely that faith cannot save, can it? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill," and yet do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. Earlier you heard the many different ways to give to the work of this church, and I'll just lift up the powerful work this congregation has done in this week with Family Promise and with Fish and with Interfaith Pride Service, and lift that up. Obviously, I've forgotten something. Oh, that's okay. Okay, we have one more concern.
This is a joyful concern in a way that I kept in my heart. Tomorrow, our beloved minister starts his healing journey. So I would like everyone to bring his health and well-being into your hearts and sing it out as the month of July progresses. And we will have a healed and whole minister as the rest of the congregation. Thanks.
Now, Nora Williams gave me a shirt of Irvin's that is from the Proton Center, where he received treatment in Florida for his prostate cancer, and he lived long and died of something completely different. I'm wearing Irvin's shirt tomorrow as I go in for my treatment. So I invite you to give generously to the work of this church.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons, is as important as the killing of all men, all mothers' sons. That which touches me most is that I had a chance to work with people, passing on to others that which was passed on to me, singing, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh yes, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. To me, young people come first. They have the courage where we failed. And if I could shed some light as they carry us through the gale, the older I get, the better I know that my secret of my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm, singing, we who believe much for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be one in the number as we stand against tyranny. Struggling myself don't mean a whole lot. I've come to realize that teaching others to stand up and fight is the only way my struggle will survive. Singing, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh yes, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. I'm a woman who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult because I'll bow to no man's word. Singing, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh yes, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Sing with me. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh yes, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Oh yes, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
Good morning. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be able to share with you all this morning, and I am grateful for the invitation, and I want to thank Reverend Chris Buice for the opportunity to come and to share, and also for the introduction. I am excited and honored to be here this morning, and I know that my congregation is probably a little upset with me. During the month of June, I've only had the opportunity to preach there once, and I know they're ready for me to get back, but I did not want to miss the opportunity to come and to share. And so I bring you greetings from the St. John Missionary Baptist Church in Alcoa, Tennessee, and also from the Knoxville Area Urban League. It is an honor to be a part of both, and I'm excited to be able to share that with you all this morning. As we were in the back prior to service, Reverend Buice told me to make sure that I plug the Urban League, and so I plan on doing just that. But I do want to focus on the scripture that was read in our hearing this morning, and it is from the book of James, 2nd chapter, verses 14 through 17, and I want to lift up just one of those verses for emphasis this morning, and it's the 17th verse, which reads out of the New Revised Standard Version, "So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead." And my brothers and my sisters, for the time that is ours to share this morning together, I want to preach with this thought in mind: faith in action, empowering communities, changing lives. In order for faith to be fruitful, faith has to be functional. In order for faith to be fruitful, faith has to be functional. Functional faith is not just stale and empty platitudes, but functional faith is reachable beyond rhetoric. Functional faith doesn't simply frequent a place of worship, but functional faith is able to worship in whatever place one may be. Functional faith won't disappear when adversity abounds. But functional faith is faith in action. Functional faith is that faith which holds and sustains and keeps, because it is a coupling of hand and heart. That's what functional faith is, and I believe that that's the challenge that all of us must deal with on a daily basis. Is our faith simply ornamental, or is our faith functional? And in this pericope, we find the words of James, the baby brother of Jesus and the leader of the church at Jerusalem. James, as he pens these words, he pens them to the believers that are dispersed throughout the Roman Empire. And with them, he addresses the practical outworking of faith in the lives of those that had come to follow the teachings of Jesus. Can you imagine what it must have been like to have been Jesus's baby brother? To walk in this shadow of having to live up to Jesus and the example that he set forth. But here it is that James utilizes this opportunity and this platform that he has to share what he thinks, what he feels, what he believes, what he knows to be true with all of those who are followers of the way. And this is a challenge that James issues to us as a thing that we are to embrace, in that our faith is not just to be all talk, but our faith is to be faith in action. He asserts the true faith manifests itself in deeds of compassion and of justice. Compassion and justice. Let me say that again for those that are still not picking up on it. Compassion and justice. And although we are far removed from the Roman Empire, this specific passage calls us to examine the very core of our faith and the expression that it holds in our lives. It's not until we endure hardships and affliction that we really come to understand what our faith is made of. Is our faith simply there to look good and to make us look good? Or is our faith one that will last and endure and stand the test of time when we find ourselves presented with opportunities to walk out what we say we believe? And in James 2:14 through 17, he tells us in no uncertain terms that faith without works is dead. This, my friends, is a call to action, a reminder that our beliefs must be lived out in tangible ways. And as one might imagine, Jesus' baby brother adapts and adopts his theological ideology for caring for the least, the last, the lost, and the left behind. And he says that it's not enough for us to offer lip service, but in our daily comings and goings, we must be willing to lend hand to what our mouth says. In our daily comings and goings, we must be able to exercise what we verbalize. Our faith is not merely an intellectual assertion. No, it's not just an assertion that highlights specific doctrines, but it is a dynamic relationship with a God that compels us to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God, which are the words that Micah shared with us in Micah 6 and 8. Sunday after Sunday, I have the opportunity, the privilege, and the pleasure to stand behind pulpits and to share out what I believe and what I believe that my Bible teaches and what I believe that God ordains us to do. It's one thing to stand stately and to proclaim to those that sit and listen and then walk away, come back a week later and do it all again. But Monday through Friday, I get to see faith in action. Through my role and my work as the president of the Knoxville Area Urban League, on a daily basis, I get to see how faith and action intertwine. And so if you rewind back in the pages of our history, you'll understand that somewhere around 1910, the National Urban League is founded, and the National Urban League is founded as a result of two individuals coming together and bringing organizations that are already in existence together with one common mission of empowering communities and changing lives. Ruth Standish Baldwin and George Edmund Haynes come together, a white woman and a black man who understand that there's something greater to society than the divisions that separate us. And they said that we have to find a way for those that are leaving the South and oppression and hardship and the afflictions that are there troubling them as they are moving to the North, the Midwest, and to the West. And so we will bring together this idea that we can help them to find somewhere to live and somewhere to work. Because if you are picking up your life and relocating across the country, you need somewhere to lay your head, and you need some way to earn some money. Thus, the Urban League is born. This endeavor in humanity, and this endeavor in social work, and this endeavor is one that grows and ultimately becomes a movement, not just nationally, but we are now 92 affiliates in 36 states across our union. And in 1968, during the height of the civil rights movement, while Whitney M. Young is president of our national organization, just after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Knoxville Area Urban League is born. We believe that every individual has potential, and that every individual has the power to be their best selves. That's what keeps us going every single day, that there's power of community to bring about transformative change in our lives. And when we help someone to secure a home, when we help them to find a job or to access education, we're not just meeting physical needs, but we are affirming their dignity and their worth as children of the Most High. We are meeting their needs and not just speaking it, but we are doing it. We are called to be more than just hearers of the word, but our calling is to be doers of that word. Our faith must be faith in action. It must be active. It must be alive. It must be expressed through deeds of love and service. Let us not be content with empty words, but strive to make a real difference in our community. He says, what good is it if you say you have faith but don't have works? If I can walk by a brother or a sister who is struggling and say that I'm praying for you, or I'm thinking about you, or I'm lifting you up, and I can keep moving, something is wrong with that. If I can see someone who has a physical ailment or pain, and I can say I'm lifting you up or praying for you and keep moving, there's something wrong with that. If I can see a child that is hungry and I'm still willing to take away subsidies or food from them, there's something wrong with that. If I say that I am one that believes in the power of a God that can supply for everyone, but I'm not willing to put my hands to that effort, there's something wrong with that. I have to be able to walk out what I say I believe and to see the worth and the dignity in every single individual, because God created each and every one of us in God's image. And if I can see myself in the image of God, and if I can see my brother or sister in the image of God, then surely I should be able to treat everyone with the same worth and dignity and respect, so that it doesn't matter what your annual income is, depending on how much respect I give you, or where you were born, or what your gender is, or any of that. I can look at each and every individual and see their worth and their value, and I can put my hands to match my heart, which is matching my faith, in order to bring about change in community. Our faith has to be functional. And as we reflect on these words of James, let us commit ourselves to living out our faith. I think that's needed. I think there are too many empty words that go forth on a daily basis, that ours don't need to be added to the number. Whether through volunteering, supporting community initiatives, simply reaching out to a neighbor in need, we have countless opportunities to put our feet to work, to put our hands to work, to put our faith in action. Not to push ourselves too much, but the Urban League is on the ground doing that work on a daily basis. And as we are engaged in the areas of education, entrepreneurship, health, housing, jobs, and justice, and really trying to reach out to those that are in need and making sure that they have the resources and the tools to be successful and sustainable, we are working and striving every single day to do just that. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. But the more individuals that we can get on board, the more individuals that we can get to be a part of that movement, the better that we can look like the mosaic that we are and that God created us to be, and that we're coming together to make a difference for each and every individual. That's what our mission is. And so, my brothers and sisters, the challenge and the charge that I have is to let your faith be more than just words. Let it be a living, breathing force of good in this world. Force that can contend with words of hate, words of bigotry, words that are vile and hurtful. Let ours be one that is walked out and seen in action. And together, as a community of individuals, we can embody the love of Christ through our actions. James, the baby brother of Jesus, who has to walk in the shadow of his elder brother who can walk on water, who can do no wrong, who is revered and lifted up, literally. If he can have this mindset, that ours is one that can be a faith that is exercised, then surely we too can exemplify that in what we do. My platform may not be your platform may not be my platform, but every single one of us have the opportunity to allow our faith to live and to be active. James says, faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. My friends, it's time for us to get to work. Too much is at stake for us not to be at work. Too much is on the line for us not to be at work. Too much is at risk for us not to be at work. Faith without works is dead. But I'm grateful that we have a living faith that is able to bring about change in the community. The last shameless plug that I have as I take my seat is I would encourage you to join with us at the Knoxville Area Urban League. Become a member of our organization as we seek to empower communities and empower lives. Thank you and bless you.
I want to say, as the youngest child in a family of 5 with 2 older brothers, your sermon spoke very much to my family history. Our closing song, you already know the words, but in case you don't, they are in the hymnal at 118 in the gray hymnal, but feel free to not look at a book. Rise and body or spirit.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love. Proclaim the truth that makes us free.
Let people living in all lands declare that fear and hate are done. Rise above differences and stand in love and understanding one.
As our last act of worship, I invite you to turn and greet your neighbor.